Greetings, my name is Matt Webster. I'm principal at Schoolcraft Elementary School, and this video is intended to highlight a few of the things we'll be discussing on our April 19th preschool and kindergarten orientation night. With me that night will be Andrea Blodgett, our preschool director, and the superintendent of our school district, Dr. Rusty Stitt. So some things to know. You're watching this video because you have at home either a kindergartner or a preschooler who is considering coming to Schoolcraft Elementary School. So the date ranges of their birthdays are there listed for you, just to kind of help you understand which program your child may be more eligible for. You'll notice that there are some boxes in yellow. In the state of Michigan, kindergartners are actually eligible to, or I should say, children are eligible to waive into kindergarten, even if they don't meet the age ranges. So that is a small window, 3 months actually, September through the end of November. And if your child is born in one of those 3 months, again, they are eligible to waive into kindergarten and essentially start it early. Sometimes we find that those children are more eligible or ready for a Young Fives type program, and we'll explain that here momentarily. Our kindergarten day is a 5-day-a-week system. You feel free to pause this slide and read more about what we offer and what our kindergarten day looks like. Again, we'll go into more detail on April 19th. But it is a 5-day-a-week system. We focus on learning and mastering all kinds of standards in reading, math, writing, science, and social studies. And our kindergartners also attend all of our specials, which include PE music, STEAM, which is engineering, and new for 2018-19 will be art. We're very excited to have that back. Our Young Fives program looks very similar to kindergarten. They attend all the same specials, experience all the same technology. The big differences are our class size. We cap it at 18. And the other big difference is that this classroom does not focus solely on academics. Rather, the greatest focus in that classroom is actually social emotional readiness for learning, so that when they enter kindergarten, they're ready to learn and master those standards alongside their peers. Preschool is very different from our kindergarten setting. It is only a 4-day-a-week program. And again, pausing this slide and reading through the details will kind of help share some of the differences with you. One of the biggest is that, again, it's only 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, and the class size is capped at 16. That's because our preschool operates with an 8-to-1 ratio, 8 students to 1 adult. So that program will have 2 adults in the classroom at all times. So we created a flow chart to really help navigate this process because, you know, between our preschool, Young Fives, and kindergarten experiences, they all offer different, they meet different needs. So we've developed a bit of a flow chart to kind of help us and families navigate that process. Our youngest students are typically always eligible for preschool, our oldest for kindergarten, and then there's the middle area where we find our youngest kindergartners, our oldest preschoolers, and our students who maybe need more of a social emotional experience to prepare themselves for learning. And it's those students that fall into this Young Fives range. Again, we'll talk more about that on April 19th. But again, this is the decision-making tool that our district uses as we place students in kindergarten, Young Fives, and preschool. So what are these readiness factors that are used when determining students for Young Fives? We've actually borrowed a tool from KRESA Head Start. That's the same tool that we use for our preschool readiness when we determine that. But we've added a tool, and this is research that came out of Michigan State. So we've combined those two resources to create these readiness factors here at Schoolcraft. Together, this really gives us a good idea as to who's ready to learn in kindergarten and who needs to focus more on our Young Fives social emotional experience. Where might I find these readiness factors? Again, that'll be done in May when your child comes in to be screened for kindergarten. Mrs. Bones will walk through these readiness factors with every family and collect that information before your screening process is complete. So at Schoolcraft, we really value family partnerships. It is one of the greatest things we can do to set a child up for success. And we fully understand that you, the parents, or that family have been that child's first teacher for many years heading into this school. And we value that knowledge and background. So we really lean on you a lot to help make sure that they enter our system and have as much success as possible. We really strive to communicate effectively as well. Things like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter are all avenues that we pump out information, including emails. Once you're part of our school system, we send a lot of newsletters out as well. So one of the biggest things we'll focus on April 19th is this simple statistic right here. Reading for only 10 minutes a day can really set a child up, and this starts as early as the preschool age, even younger than that, in fact. So what you find here is reading 9.6 minutes a day. It's kind of an odd statistic, but research proves that reading roughly 10 minutes a day exposes children to 1.2 million words a year. And the biggest thing here is what you'll see at the top. It potentially places them in the 70th percentile nationally. For all of us parents who, brought a child home a few years ago from the hospital, you'll remember the percentile rankings for height and weight. This is the same sort of statistic here. So if a child was in the 50th percentile in height, that meant they were right down the middle of average. So being in the 70th percentile in reading nationally by simply dedicating 10 minutes to that is an incredible advantage. And you can see what the chart does here, doubling that to 20 minutes a night, close to the 90th percentile, and then having that by only doing 5 minutes, you can see what the decrease does. So one of the biggest things we'll focus on April 19th is stressing the fact that 10 minutes or more of literacy with the family and the child each day really sets them up for success. Another thing we'll do on the 19th is take care of the enrollment process. So I would pause this slide here, take a look at the things that you may want to bring with you that night to make sure that you are fully enrolled and ready to go. And then we'll also talk about some other supports that we offer, Eagle Zone being one of them. That is our before and after school care program. And Summer Eagle Zone, which, as you could expect, is our summer daycare opportunity. And it comes with some field trips and fun things. So again, I encourage you to pause this slide and explore this a little bit more. Again, our kindergarten screening dates are May 15th and 16th. You'll be signing up on the 19th for one of these 2 days. It's a 30-minute long screening process, and part of that, again, is spent with Mrs. Bohms going over the readiness factors and just making sure that your child is all set for the fall. So we'll address 2 big questions that night on top of the other information. What will my student need to know and do, and how can I, the family, support my student to know and do those things? So you'll be addressing those 2 questions in the library. I highly encourage you to stop by the library that night and check that station out. We'll also have our classrooms open, and there'll be a number of other professionals throughout our school district under our roof that night. That way you can meet our transportation director, our food services, and so on. So with that, Schoolcraft, we thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at 6 o'clock on April 19th.